A 17-year-old boy is beaten to death near the basketball courts of the LeBron James-founded I Promise School, and that's in Akron, Ohio. An autopsy on the victim, Ethan Liming, determined that the teen died from blunt force head injuries. Now, police believe Liming was driving around with his friends, shooting a water gun at unsuspecting people when they approached and shot at a group playing basketball at the school. Now, it's believed that an altercation broke out after that. Ethan's grieving father, Bill, spoke out about the condition that Ethan was left in.
He was a beautiful boy, and they, I don't want to say what they did to his face. They destroyed my son. They destroyed my son.
Ethan Lyman was a 17-year-old football player, high school student that was murdered, beaten to death, stomped out by a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and a 21-year-old at a LeBron James school for troubled youth. One of Ethan Lyman's friends initiated this altercation by really playfully shooting at these three young men who were playing basketball and made these three young men initially run away. And then they realized that, wait, why are we running? This is not a threat, which now at this point, you know that this is not a real gun. And self-defense goes out the window here. This is not self-defense. This is a retaliation that led to a murder. After initially charging the three young men with murder, they reduced the charges down to lesser charges, which is an injustice. It's like you're saying this dude's life doesn't matter because what? Because black people are the victim and this guy is a white jackass who's probably racist. They're always going to throw that in. He was probably racist. Just because someone might have some racial motivations, which there's no evidence for, so stop the bullshit. But even if I give you the benefit of the doubt of agreeing that maybe he was racist, that still doesn't give you the right to murder somebody. So shut the hell up with that. This is the vilification of white people. It's everywhere. There's already this perception and assumption that white people are inherently just evil and black people are the victims. Initially, these three suspects ran away until they realized that, oh, this is a game. This is not real. Let's get violent.
The 19, 20, and 21-year-olds were taken into custody by the U.S. Marshals Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force, and that Deshaun Stafford Jr., Tyler Stafford, and Donovan Jones were all charged with murder and assault. Police say 17-year-old Ethan Liming was found unresponsive in a parking lot near the I Promise School, which is funded by NBA superstar and Akron native LeBron James, at around 11 p.m. on June 2nd. Investigators say that Liming died from blunt force trauma to the head. Liming's father tells Fox News Digital his son was driving around with his friends who were shooting a toy splatterball water gun out the window that night and had pulled over to send a text. That's when police say two of Liming's friends began shooting the water beads in the direction of four people playing basketball, sparking an altercation. Liming's dad says his son got out of the vehicle to try to let everyone know it wasn't serious and they were just goofing around. But the trio allegedly overpowered the boys and zeroed in on Liming.
This is a kid that's only 17 years old, stomped, beaten to death.
Ethan's father telling Fox he was supposed to be taking his son, an honor roll student, to his first college visit today, saying he had dreams of becoming a lawyer. We'll continue to follow this one.
And of course, no one-on-one took place. You can hear the 911 call.
June 2nd, 2022, 22 hours, 43 minutes, 34 seconds.
Akron 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Oh, we're at King School, or no, we're at the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
Our friend just got knocked out.
Okay.
We don't know what to do.
What is your name?
My name is Ephraim Stefenko.
Okay, is there a fight happening there now?
Hey, man. We're sorry, man. We didn't mean it. Sorry, what was that?
Is there a fight going on?
There was.
Okay, are the other people still there?
Yeah, it's all good. It's okay, though. It's cool now. It's cool now.
Okay. Is your friend unconscious?
Yeah.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah. Yeah, he's breathing. He's breathing.
Okay. Are you with him now?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'm not trying to fight, though.
How old is he?
I can't fight. I can't.
How old is he? Hello?
He's 17.
He's 17? Hello, are you still here? Hello?
And this is the police report. Stafford did knowingly cause or attempt to cause serious physical harm to Ethan Lyman. The result of the felonious assault resulted in the death of Ethan Lyman. Now listen up. Stafford was in an altercation with Lyman. Stafford punched, assaulted Lyman. Stafford then beat Lyman until he was unconscious, and then beat him more as he was unconscious on the ground. This is not self-defense, my friends. Stop lying to try to excuse violence and murder just because you have a soft spot in your heart for the black man. So continuing on, it says that by stomping and kicking him multiple times on the head, resulting in his death on the scene. When Blank attempted to come to Lyman's aid by taking him to the hospital, the suspect took Lyman's car and drove to the other end of the lot. Are you hearing this? I'm going to need y'all to stop gaslighting me when the facts show that there are more violent attacks coming from black people towards white people, as opposed to what you would think. According to what social media has been pumping, TikTok, Twitter, all these left-leaning social media platforms, they're kind of appealing, to a certain worldview, a certain political view, when this is the opposite of what's really going on. Let's look at the fucking statistics. These are the 2019 criminal victimization stats done by the Bureau of Justice. After Table 15 in the red there, it says there were 5.3 times as many violent incidents committed by black offenders against white victims as were committed by white offenders against black victims. Look at the raw numbers. 472,570 times a black person committed a violent felony against a white person. Keep in mind that there are over 5 times more white people than black people. And yet, and still, black people committed 5.3 times more violent incidents against white people. This is not the perception that you're getting out here in this world from the media, from BLM, black supremacists, black Hebrew Israelite out here. You would get the impression that white people are out here just attacking black people left and right. Black Lives Matter, when they're the ones committing most of these fucking violent crimes. This shit is ridiculous.
Beats fired from a toy gun and ended with a beating and a teen killed. Now his family is questioning the pursuit for justice. 3 people were originally charged with murder and felonious assault in Ethan Lyming's death, but that all changed when the grand jury got the case.
I just don't feel like I can remain silent any longer.
Bill Lyming's son, Ethan, was a star athlete, an A student, a rising senior. Summer vacation had just started when Ethan Lyming was brutally beaten and killed. Now, months later, his dad feels like he is being victimized by the justice system.
I naively believed that, once the people that murdered my son were caught, that the justice system would just simply handle things. We've said all along that we were confident when the facts of the case were presented, that Ethan would receive justice.
But the grieving father feels that hasn't happened.
The people who have the power to stand up for my son are not doing it. And so it's up to me, as a father, to speak for my son who cannot speak for himself.
It's so unfortunate to see this happen over and over again, where people have faith in the justice system only to find out that it's been captured by the left wing in this country. It's been captured by people who think that by dint of the color of Ethan Lyming's skin, he is inherently evil, and the perpetrators, by dint of the color of their skin, are inherently victims, and they need to counterbalance the cosmic scales, even in a case where they murdered Ethan Lyming, in order to create some form of social justice.
17-year-old Ethan Lyming and 3 friends drove to the I Promise school parking lot in Akron. Lyming told me his son and another friend sat in the car, while the 2 others got out. Police say that's when a water bead was fired from a toy gun. It came from a splatterball water bead blaster aimed at a group of young men playing basketball. It was part of a TikTok challenge. Lyming says Ethan's friends ran back to the car. The group of men initially ran away too.
When they figured out that the car, they were not being shot by a real gun, decided to go and confront Ethan and all of his friends who were in that car.
According to court transcripts, Ethan stepped out of the car. He was confronted by the three, and that's when he fired a splatterball water bead. That led to the fight that killed him. Liming says his son was punched, kicked, stepped on, and beaten. One of Ethan's friends called 911.
We're at the I Promise school in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
Our friend just got knocked out.
According to court transcripts, one of the three, Donovan Jones, was kicking the car, trying to get in. And when he does, starts punching the other friends, trying to drag them from the car, while one is on the phone with 911.
How old is he?
Prosecutors say video surveillance captures them running from Jones. Police originally charged Deshaun Stafford, his brother Tyler, and their cousin Donovan Jones with murder. But in July, a grand jury indicted them on lesser charges. Liming blames the Summit County Prosecutor's Office for that decision. He doesn't believe all of the facts were presented. Akron police said back in June race was not a factor in the killing.
There is nothing that we have in our possession right now, any information at all, indicating that race played a role in this homicide. Nothing.
But Liming isn't so sure.
I would like to believe that race doesn't play a role in this. I'm married to a Filipino woman. She's got black cousins. So when I asked Brian Laprinzi in the initial prosecutors meeting that I had with him, I asked him if race made a difference, if my son's skin color made a difference in the way in which they're approaching it. And he said yes.
The Summit County Prosecutor's Office told us in a statement in part, quote, Mr. Liming's accusations are not true. We met with the Liming family and their attorney and explained the facts and evidence which we were legally permitted to tell them about. At no time did the race of any of those involved play a factor in the charges. Last month, Jones entered a no-contest plea to misdemeanor assault charges. He was given a suspended sentence of 180 days in jail and credited with time served. Liming is upset, angry, and frustrated.
A source who was at the initial prosecutors meeting between the detectives and the prosecutors described that prosecutors meeting as being very contentious. Some of the prosecutors wanting felonious assault charges and murder charges, others basically wanting no charges at all, with one of the prosecutors saying that Ethan received hood justice, which was a new term to me. I was unfamiliar with that terminology, hood justice, and that, I guess, implying that Ethan got what he deserved.
Since June 2nd, Liming says his family has been living a nightmare. They've been harassed and received hateful emails.
We've received emails celebrating the fact that my son's head was crushed like a watermelon and laughing about how his chest was stomped in. I've been called a white moron.
Liming is calling for the Summit County Prosecutor's Office to take another look at the charges or step aside and let the Ohio Attorney General step in. In the meantime, Liming has called the FBI and asked them to investigate to find out if there is a civil rights violation.
Not only is it a bitch move to jump somebody, sucker punching and all this stuff, but to keep attacking someone after they're already knocked out to the point where you crack their skull, cave in their chest. Ethan Liming didn't even shoot the shit. He was just the only one that was brave enough to step up and say, listen, this is a joke. Relax. No, you're dead. Kick, pow, boom, bing, bow. Ha ha ha. Fuck you. You're white, you moron. And this is what they did on social media, all over social media. And I know that people are going to say, but what about the whataboutism? What about the times that white people did this to black people? But this is not what you're being fed through social media, the mass media networks out here that are mostly liberal. They're giving you the impression that black people are the ones that are under attack. So this shit doesn't even come up. And then add on to that, to add insult to injury, they're making you think that when white people do it, they get off. And when black people do it, they go to jail and they get all this harsh sentencing. But what do you see here, man? You see that these three motherfuckers killed this kid that did nothing. He was murdered. They got time served. What was it? 3 months in jail? 6 months for murder? And then the narrative is that black people are getting this harsh sentencing, prison reform, bail reform, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. Yo, suck my dick. You motherfuckers out here are gaslighting the shit out of the whole world. Everybody. And this is called misdirection and gaslighting. That's why I bring these stories to light. So when you come with your bullshit narrative, I can point to this and say, but what about Ethan Liming? What about Anthony Santi? What about all these guys that aren't getting justice? All these lives that are getting injustice. What are you going to say? Well, how many times has a black person gotten injustice? Yes. But wasn't it wrong when they got injustice? So shouldn't you be equally upset when these people get injustice? You motherfuckers, I'm telling you right now, you can't fuck with me when it comes to this Black Lives Matter shit. Listen, man, you're going to tap out. You're not going to go live with me like some of you bitch-ass niggas out here are running from me. You know, I've been challenging a lot of you motherfuckers out here to go live. Let's talk about this shit. And you refuse to. I know what you're doing. You're scared. You're hiding. You got your tail between your legs. Go fuck yourself. Peace out.